Hey guys, it's me Suja over here. Welcome back to another video. So, on this video, I'm going to be talking about how I started my successful teaching tutoring business in Vietnam, part two. So, as you can recollect, that last week I had made a video about this, how I started my successful teaching tutoring business for part one. So this is going to be the part two, and I'm going to be covering things like how I was able to enroll students for my private English tutoring business, and the strategies and where actually I used to teach my students. So if you're new to my channel, the name of my channel is called as Sujoy in Vietnam. I've been living over here for over 6 years now in Vietnam. I was an English teacher before for 3.5 years here in Vietnam, and then I started my online digital marketing business. And I'm also a full-time YouTuber. So if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. So as usual, I will be starting this video with a cup of my morning coffee. Getting my thinking caps on. Okay. So, right. I just kind of jotted down a couple of the points and letting you know. So, if you would remember in my previous video, I talked about why it's very important to have a Facebook page for your teaching tutoring business, and start, posting a lot of English contents consistently, and also posting contents like word of the day, like kind of a 1 minute short video, word of the day, and like posting some vocabulary words which are in English and then translated into Vietnamese for your target audience, which are the Vietnamese students, to get to know your Facebook page, to get to know your content, your teaching style, so that they can start following your Facebook page and also having a call to action where, potential students can contact you for some private tutoring inquiries. So that is very essential. Now, just wanted to add a quick one. So also I talked about the English club, why it's very important for you as an expat teacher to join these English clubs and start providing free lessons, having general communication English lessons with the Vietnamese students, like over the weekends or during the evenings, like maybe twice or thrice during the weekdays. During the evenings it could happen. Now these English clubs could happen at a coffee shop, like especially catered for students. Usually, during the weekends, the students like to come to these coffee shops. They like to buy coffees and they like to sit down with their friends, with their groups, and practice communicating English, and especially with foreign teachers. The third one, which actually I missed out on my previous video, would be, and which I think is very important for 2024 and beyond, is having your own teaching YouTube channel. Now that is very important because YouTube is a very important and powerful medium for to get a lot of eyeballs. Okay, and especially if you are targeting the right audience, which that's going to be like your Vietnamese audience over here, and like just talking about like basic general communication English words. You don't even need to know Vietnamese, to be honest. Like you can just post some simple YouTube shorts. Like I believe YouTube shorts are for 15 to 16 seconds, if I'm right, or 1 minute YouTube short videos. And just talk some word of the day, or like simple English communication skills. And it's very important, like you can keep a call to action, like if you like watching this video, and you can have your business email. It could be on a Gmail, so something like teacher your name at gmail.com or whatever. so that students can start reaching out to you, and they can just say that I'm a subscriber of your YouTube channel, and I have a group of friends, they want to study English with you. I see that you're based out here in Saigon or in Hanoi or wherever in Vietnam you're staying. So that's a very powerful medium, and especially having YouTube Shorts is very powerful. I mean, let's be honest. I've been able to grow my YouTube subscribers substantially by posting a lot of YouTube short videos. It doesn't mean not all the time I get a lot of views. Sometimes I get very low views, and sometimes it goes kind of viral. So yeah, you should really capitalize on YouTube Shorts if you really want to scale up your private tutoring, private teaching business here in Vietnam. So I'm going to be now covering the strategies that allowed me to effectively enroll students for my private tutoring business. Okay. So the first one would be like the students would get in touch with me. They could even get in touch with me on Facebook page, or I had, yeah. So primarily Facebook page. Yeah. So they would get in touch with me. I'm just talking from my experience. They would get in touch with me, and then I would then just tell them that, okay, why don't we have a meeting? Okay, so the first process would be to go and meet up with the students, okay, and understand what their requirements are, what their teaching requirements are, where they need help in their English communication skills. Do they have challenges when it comes to English speaking pronunciations, or listening? They have challenges when it comes to listening skills. So it's very important you meet up with the students, go and meet up with them at a coffee shop. I would, like, 90% of the time, I would go and meet up with the students at the coffee shop, or maybe I would just go and meet up with them at McDonald's. I mean, when I used to stay at Govap district here in Saigon, meet up with them at McDonald's, Govap. They have these glass rooms. You can just go and meet up with them any time of the day. So usually, like, I would have like two, three students coming and meeting up with me, or maybe just one student coming and meeting up with me and saying, like, I have a group of friends. So that's a very powerful way. Okay, so the first impression would be the students would be understanding how you are as a teacher. Okay, how much of knowledge you have, you can provide them when it comes to improving their English communication skills. So it's like, consider this. It's like an interview which the students are doing on the foreign teacher. They want to understand that, is this teacher, is he or she going to be an effective English tutor for me and for my group of friends. So you have to be very convincing. You have to, really win their trust, and you have to show them that you're really willing to help them to improve their English communication skills. So the first phase would be, like, normally the meeting would just be around like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Okay, so don't make it an hour, and be very professional and just lay out the groundworks, how you're going to, just have a kind of a plan. The English structure, your teaching tutoring structure, like how you're going to help them. Like, okay, I'm going to first help you with the vocabulary. I will then focus on your communication skills. I will help you with your listening skills. This is how I'm going to be going about it, and kind of be a little bit in detail. Just lay down like a template. Okay, so yeah, so have a template. Okay, keep a kind of a customized template which you can market to your students whenever you meet your potential students. So have a customized template. Okay, so you can I suggest you take your laptop with you and just show them a sample of your PowerPoint slides, like 2 3 slides, or show them a template, and like, this is how I'm going to be teaching you guys. This is going to be a 2 months private tutoring class. Normally, I would stick with 2 months, or it could stretch for 3 months, because the advantage is, if you're having a 2 months private tutoring English class, you keep on getting recurring income as an expat teacher. So after 1 month the students will pay you for the other month. So it's just like a recurring, you can, and it depends, like if the students want to really carry on with you, they can say, teacher, we want to study with you for a few more months. But usually you should keep it like for 2 months, just to be on the safe side. But I never used to force my students. I would just say that, okay, check after 1 month. If you like my teaching, then we can proceed for the following month. Say if the students are not happy with my teaching, it's okay, no worries. It was good to do business with you. Carry on, move on. But don't kind of. I don't think you should keep a kind of a obligation that it has to be only 2 months, whether you don't like my teaching style or not for the first month. So keep a little bit of levi, make it a bit more relaxing for the students. So I suggest, just check it out for 1 month how it goes, and if your students are happy with you, continue for the following month. So yeah, but usually I would be teaching my students like for 2 months on an average. So that's the first meeting, okay, and also discuss about the cost, okay. Now, it's very easy to get students for your private tutoring business if you have group of students, okay, like group of students. It's easier for the Vietnamese students because they can break up the cost. But if you're going to be teaching one-to-one, it could be a bit expensive for the students, but it depends if it's a working student, if the student is working in a corporate company, if it's a senior manager, or working in a blue collar job, then that's fine. He would not have any, he or she wouldn't have any problems with that. But then, of course, one-to-one teaching, you have to be really, really effective, and you really need to know what you're teaching your student, because they expect the best out of you. If you're learning, if there are a group of students, like 5 or 6 students, or even 4 students, or even five and above, like 7, 8 students. Yes, it's more interactive, more fun. You can have a lot of group activities and all those kind of things. But like I said, one-to-one teaching, you really have to be very effective, very professional. You need to know, because at the end of the day, you're just teaching one student, and that student expects the best out of you. So one-to-one teaching is a bit more. Um, People say it's easier just teaching one student, but I feel one-to-one teaching is a bit more challenging, because you have to show your best as a teacher. You have to make sure that that particular student who has taken your one-to-one tutoring class, English tutoring class, gets the best out of that day for that specific topic, and is able to implement that topic for his or her, English communication needs. So yeah, so now let's talk about the second round. Okay, let me just have a bit of my coffee. All right, so let's talk about the second round. Okay, so the first meet you had. Now the second round could be like, what I would do is I would then say that, okay, why don't I give you a free 30-minute demo class? Okay, now this I would usually try to have after 2 days of having the first meeting, or maybe after 3 4 days of having the first meeting. I would say that, okay, I would like to give you guys a 30-minute free demo class, and just let me know where I can come and teach you. So usually I would be doing these demo classes like maybe at a coffee shop, which is very quiet. Don't go to these public coffee shops where it's very loud and you have a lot of people. Don't expect to teach your students at a Highland Coffee, or all these other major coffee outlets, because most of the time they're very crowded, or coffee house and all that. So you need to go to a very quiet coffee shop, which is or maybe a very simple coffee shop, where you do where you have very less customers, or like a quiet room. I remember, like, there are coffee shops which I used to go at Govap district, where it was a garden coffee. And usually in garden coffees, then you have a specific room where you can go inside and teach the students, or maybe just tell them they can come at your home, and you can get your students, you can get your friends, or Just go to a coffee, go to an office, go to their office, like go to the office locations, and just I would teach them in a glass room, inside a glass room. So just give them a 30-minute demo. Get your like I would be having a standard demo PowerPoint slide. Like maybe with that slide, maybe would have around 10 to 12 materials, English teaching materials, so specifically vocabulary, activities. It's something which you can market. Okay, so it's like a kind of a demo. You should have like two, three PowerPoint files, like demo files catered. So maybe you can have like business English PowerPoint slide for your demos, and you can also have general communication English PowerPoint slides, which you can use for your demo class. So itchy nose, yeah. So so give that 30-minute demo, and that is very important, and you will easily come to understand if the students are enjoying your class or not. For the demo is by looking at their engagements. Okay, are they participating in the demo class? Are they able to understand? Are they smiling? Are they having a good time during a demo class? That's very important. If the students are not engaging in your demo class, then it could be like maybe the students are not interested. But if the students are enjoying your demo class, then you are very close to enrolling these students for your private tutoring business, private English tutoring business. Um, so it's very important to analyze these students when you're giving the demo class. Be very energetic, be very interactive with the students. Use PowerPoint slides, show them some video materials, basically having a good time with your students. Okay. So, because at the end of the day, you want these students to enroll for your private tutoring class, and you also want to start generating revenue for yourself as an expat teacher. Okay, so that would be the second round. Okay, so after you give the demo, I always used to tell my students, okay, I hope you guys enjoyed my demo. I'm going to give you guys like 2 days time to decide if you like to proceed with me. Let me know what time. If you decide to proceed with me, let me know where would be the best place for me to teach you. And, like just tell them that this is the cost. Okay, so like, if you have 4 to 5 students, this is going to be the cost for each student per month. And I'm going to be taking this many classes per week. So like normally in a week I would be taking, like for one batch of students, I would be taking like 3 classes per week, because I may like to, because I have to teach other batches of students. So like I would be having like 4 to 5 batches of students whom I would be teaching per week. So each batch of student would be around like 4 to 5 students whom I would be teaching. So yeah, so I would be just telling them that get back to me after 2 days and just follow up with them. And during the 2 days, just keep on just engaging with these students with this, and just telling the student like um, like uh, do you have any problems with the English skills? How did you find the demo? Or is there anything else I can help you with? But I think they take some time, and then of course the students would get back to me on the second day or third day, and they would say that, teacher, we want to study English with you. And so great, so now you have a confirmation from your students, and then they want to study English with you. And just then you have to the third stage would be to arrange the location where you're going to be teaching these students. Okay, it's getting a bit darker right now. I don't know. Okay, so the third phase would be to arrange a location for you to teach the students. Okay, that's the final stage. Okay, so the final stage of so what happens is that there are many. So either they would ask you to come and teach you at a very quiet coffee shop, or maybe the same coffee shop where you went to give a demo class, or maybe they would invite you to come and teach at their home, or they could invite you at an office location. Or sometimes what I would do is, you can rent classrooms here in Vietnam. In Saigon, there are some teaching companies over here, private centers where you can rent a classroom. So you can rent it per day. I think per hour it's going to be like 80,000 Vietnam dong. It can go up to 120,000 Vietnam dong per hour. So you can rent classrooms per hour over here. They're like proper classrooms. You can have a PowerPoint. You can have a projector. You can connect your laptop with the projector, and then you can start teaching the students using the projector, the PowerPoint slides. You can show the videos and everything. So it's just that you can rent classrooms, and which I used to do quite often, or maybe just have an agreement with the with that center, with that education center. Tell them that, okay, I'm going to pay you this much for the month, and I'm going to be taking this many classes per week at this classroom, which kind of makes a bit sense, because if you're teaching, it's kind of like the cost which you're charging your students, that's definitely going to be higher compared to the amount which you're going to be paying for renting these classrooms. So it's going to incur that cost. So it's kind of like 20% of investment which you are making to get more, to generate more revenue as an expat teacher for your private English tutoring business from the other students. So usually what I would do is like the third stage would be like, just you start the class, day one. You can lay out, give them the handouts, let them know that this is what we're going to do week by week. So this is the first day, orientation day. I usually like to keep the first day as the orientation day, where I can get to know the students better, meet and greet, interactions, show them some materials, like video materials, have some fun in the classroom. The first day would be always like the orientation day, and then of course the following days would be when I start with the lessons. And it's just that the first day, after the orientation, when before the class ends, I would ask the students to pay me. Okay, so so I would collect my teaching, my private teaching, tutoring, fees, after the orientation, after I finish the orientation class, before they go home. So I would say, okay, so you can, there could be some students, they could say that, teacher, can I pay you the second day? I would say, of course, no worries. But usually what my students would do is that they would just combine together the fees, and they would give it to me before they would go home after the orientation, after I finished the orientation class. So it's very important to collect the money the first day of the orientation, after you do the first day of orientation, so that now the students are obliged to come to your class and study with you. Okay. There have been some instances where I've heard, like expat teachers, there some expat teachers, they tell they were teaching their students, and after they finished their course, the teaching course, the students kind of ran away, or just like not paying money. It kind of happens a bit. So it's very important to collect your tuition fees after the first day of orientation class, so that that they would be committed to coming to your class. And it is your moral responsibility as an expat teacher to teach them effectively, and be very ethical when it comes to your private tutoring business. Remember, it's very important to have a very important, a positive review for your teaching business. And you don't want somebody posting negative things on your Facebook page regarding your teaching, private tutoring teaching classes, saying this teacher is a scam, he's a con, or whatever, because that can definitely damage your teaching business. And of course, these students, they can spread the word around like wildfire, or they can take some legal action against you. So it can really be very damaging. So don't do that. Teach them effectively. Don't try to have any shortcuts. Whatever you have, whatever you have explained your students, that how you're going to be teaching your students week by week, follow that template. And most importantly for me, as a private English tutor, it was very important for me to know that my students are effectively learning. They're able to improve their English communication skills, and to become better English speakers. Okay, so that it would help them in the long run when it comes to when it comes to them getting good marks for their IELTS, good IELTS bandwidth scores, to study abroad. Because a lot of Vietnamese students, they like to step out of the country. They like to go overseas, like Australia, Canada, and UK and other locations to do their masters. So the demand is very high. Okay, and finally, just talking about the books and resources, is that I would be like having my own materials, or say even if you don't have your own materials for teaching, like I said, I recommend you start your private English tutoring business after you have at least 1 year of teaching experience over here in Vietnam, because you will have sufficient amount. You will have you need to have that kind of experience. You need to do your research out here. You need to learn. You need to know how you are. Okay, you need to know how you are. Your teaching style, how you're effectively teaching your students. So if even if you don't have the materials for, you can always go to, like these big bookstores out here in Vietnam. Like especially, I used to go to those Fahasa bookstores out here in Saigon, and you can get a lot of English materials, business communication English materials. Sometime, heck, I've even spent like $50 in buying teaching materials from one of my experienced fellow expat teachers who was running a very successful private English tutoring business. Um, because I really wanted to give the best to my students. So when it comes to giving the best form of English education to your students, you have to be willing to invest in really top quality English resources. Okay, English resource materials. So that is very, very important. So, usually I would have these books and resources. I would have like the physical, I would usually keep them all in the files. Like I would have Google Drive, I would have a lot of files like week one, week two, lesson one, lesson two. Each slide could be around like 15, 20 slides. Normally, so right, yeah. So this I covered part two. Okay, so I think I'll have to cover a part three of this video series where I would be talking about how many hours I would be teaching these students, and also I would be talking about hours I would be teaching the students, and I would also talk about the fees, the course fees. Okay, so I think that's important. And if you found this video to be insightful, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Additionally, if you found this video to be insightful, you can buy me a coffee. And if you're traveling around in Southeast Asia and you want to start a successful online business, even if you're an expat teacher, I highly recommend you check out the link down in the description below. So you can check out my income stream website, and also I have, there's a very big VIP pre-launch which is happening right now, and it's going to change the lives of millions. So this is a very, very big business, opportunity for those who are traveling around in Southeast Asia, or for those who are already out here in Vietnam and want to make more income. So check out my income stream website. So I will come up with the part three series of this video. So with that being said, you guys have a great day. This was me, Sue Joy. Peace out.